Hey guys, welcome back to an interesting video on Wild Rift. So today we're back with a Misfortune supplementary guide on the collector build of Misfortune. Obviously, this being a supplementary guide, it's only an alternative build to her main build, and I think that the Essence Reaver build is her main build, which we covered in the previous video in Misfortune's updated complete guide. But I still think that this build is viable. I still tested it out, and I found that it was relatively successful in certain in certain matches, but I think by and large you should always go for the other Essence Reaver build. So anyways, let's explain how this build works. First up, we have Mana Immune. Of course, this gives you a lot of mana, which is helps you resolve Misfortune's mana issues, and when you evolve it into Mirror Mana, it enhances your auto attack damage as well as your ability damage, which of course mainly matters on your ulti. Then you have Collector, which obviously gives you AD crit as well as armor penetration. And you also get the Death and Taxes passive. And the reason why this is really useful on Misfortune is because I find that Death and Taxes is a lot more useful on champions that have multiple instances of small damage. For example, Samira with her ultimate doing like so many shots but all of them being little damage. Any one of those shots could put the enemies below the threshold and trigger the Collector. And it's the same logic with Misfortune's ultimate. Like, you have many waves of damage, and it's gonna like slowly chip away at the enemy's health, and one of those waves could put them below the threshold and get executed by Collector. So I find Collector, you know, pretty good on MF. And of course afterwards we get boots. You can go for either Lucidity boots for cooldown, or you can also go for Gluttonous Greaves for lifesteal, or even defensive boots if you want, and of course stasis or Quicksilver. And then we get the Seralda's Grudge, of course, for the slow to prevent them from escaping from her ultimate. And then of course we have the Infinity Edge for the injection of AD crit as well as increased crit damage, and hopefully you can get crits on your ulti. And finally you go for the Bloodthirster, which is going to of course give you the physical vamp as well as more AD, more crit, as well as the shield. So for the runes, of course we go for Conqueror, as explained in yesterday's video. We go for Hunter of Vampirism, which of course gives you the lifesteal, bone plating for the anti-burst damage or perseverance, and Manifold Band, because there really isn't a very good inspiration rune for MF to take. So Manifold Band helps you with your sustain, mana sustain in lane, and when you eventually get to Mana Immune and Mirror Mana, it's gonna convert into damage anyway because of how Mana Immune works. So overall, you don't receive too many negative effects from getting Mana Immune. And then of course we have Exhaust and Flash. So with all that out the way, let's move on to discussing Misfortune's gameplay. Okay, so now hopping into the gameplay. Now, I actually have an Amumu support, and actually Amumu support is the best support for Misfortune. And this is in solo queue, so I'm not duoing with anybody. And I saw the dude lock in Amumu support, and I instantly knew I had to play MF. So we have the Amumu MF bot lane combo, which is really rare because you rarely see Amumu supports, especially Amumu support blind when you know, you couldn't really see anything you know, from your ADC or the enemy team. Maybe it's like a Amumu jungle main who's autofilled to support or something like that. Anyways, here we're trying to get bounces onto the enemies. Here you can see we get a bounce onto MF, and that's basically how you play Misfortune's lane. We get our bone plating proc, not too big of a deal. And yeah, so we're against Lucian and Janna. Lucian not too good in the current meta, and we're of course going to be covering Lucian you know, soon. And yeah, so here basically our goal is we just want to chunk them out and get to level 5. Hopefully we can find an ult in at level 5 and kill the both of them if Amumu can go in and get a nice ult. But of course, this is mainly dependent on my support, and on my end I can't really do all that much. So here me and Lucian both proc each other's bone plating. We both don't end up taking too much damage. Of course, bone plating meta means that this is going to be a very common thing. I do get a couple of nice bounces onto Lucian though, and he does get semi-chunked out, but it's not too much damage. Here he dashes forward, I get hit by MF, and here Lucian gets really chunked out, and here he nearly actually dies. I flash forward for the auto. If I didn't get hit by Janna's tornado there, I actually think I would have killed him, unfortunately. But unfortunately, that was a really good tornado by Janna, hiding it in the bush and then launching it right as I was about to walk up to follow up from Amumu. And this leads to both Lucian as well as MF not MF. I don't know why I keep calling Janna MF, but this is to Lucian and Janna both being really, really low. And honestly, like I mentioned in my updated complete guide yesterday, this is actually something that you see very commonly in MF lanes. MF is honestly, even though she's a weak champion overall, she really is very strong in lane. And one of the main weaknesses of MF is that she has trouble finishing off kills, like you guys see there, and also in my video yesterday. Like, you can chunk them out to really low health, but you're not going to be able to finish the kill. You get a little bit frustrated, and you're going to get outscaled by other champions. So here Lucian once again dashes forward. I managed to bounce onto the MF, and here I get a really, really good trade. We trade half of Lucian's health and a little bit of Janna's health for half of Amumu's health, and we got a really nice chunk. We're about to hit level 5 pretty soon. Amumu gets a very nice bandage toss. Here I'm able to ult through, and for some reason Lucian just stands in my ult and tanks it while trying to Q, and he just dies. Honestly, that was a kind of a free kill that I shouldn't have been getting. Which would then again lead to the same problem of MF not being able to finish kills. So I guess if your enemies make a mistake like that, you know, then you're not gonna have that issue. But yeah, I found that in all of my matches of playing MF, I play MF a decent amount, of course, to test out her builds and to see how strong she is for my tier list. I found that honestly, MF in lane, she's very, very strong, especially after getting that passive buff and a little bit of that extra AD. However, overall, I just feel that MF is just not very strong overall, because most of the time in lane, unless the enemies make a mistake or you find a very, very nice ulti, it's really difficult to finish off kills in lane. So you're not going to be a hit, and you're going to get outscaled by the mid and the late game, unless you get a hit in the early game, which you know, is possible to do sometimes when enemies make mistakes or you get good ultis. But majority of the time, you aren't able to get kills, and you can't snowball, and you know, you fall behind because you get outscaled, and that's kind of just sad. So here once again getting the bounce onto Lucian. Here Amumu can see he's posturing forward, trying to look for a bandage toss into ulti. Supposedly Ahri is also hovering around the area, so we kind of do want to get an engage off if possible. Again, a very nice tornado by Janna from out of vision. This Janna's playing pretty well. Here Lee Sin is behind over the wall, doesn't really hit his Sonic Wave, but we're going to continue our poke, launching that Q into the head of Janna. And also just clearing the wave. Amumu's still fishing for the engage. Unfortunately, he's not really getting it, at least not yet. And here he finally hits the engage, and here you can see I follow up with the ulti. Unfortunately, Lee Sin was in the background, able to finish off the kill onto MF. I flash forward to try to go for Lucian, but I get exhausted by him, and I'm gonna end up dying to the Lee Sin. So really unlucky that that Lee Sin happened to be in that bush there. Without him there, it's gonna be a free double kill. But you can kind of see how the combo works between MF together with Amumu, where Amumu goes in with the bandage toss ulti, and you can just instantly just press R to follow up and just melt them down. Unfortunately, also there was also the Janna healing there, which actually did a lot of work for them. But you know, at the end of the day, we still end up getting you know, a kill there onto Janna. It's not too bad. We also pick up our Dirk, and here Dragon has spawned. We of course don't have our ulti up and available yet, and Amumu's one is even longer cooldown than ours. So here, thankfully, the Dragon is not contested. I'm not too sure where did the Lee Sin go, but looks like he just turned up. Here, I'm just gonna go ahead and clear the minion wave. Of course, once again, getting a bounce onto the Janna. Of course, this gives priority to Janna and Lucian to roam, whereas I'm busy clearing the wave. Here, a fight breaks out in the river, and here Amumu flashes away. Here, I'm getting a very nice bounce onto Lucian, and onto Lee Sin, sorry, and I managed to actually ulti and kill him. Ahri, Orb of Deception, manages to secure another kill. Janna is left at 1 HP, and with the shield, not enough, manages to escape. And here, Ahri manages to finish off another kill. So overall, the whole sequence of events turned out pretty nicely. I'm able to step right in, get the shutdown onto the Lee Sin, as well as help to chunk everybody else out, and eventually, you know, end up at a 3-1-2 scoreline. And you know, of course, we're kind of starting to get fed. So in matches where you can do this on Misfortune, aka get fed, 3-1-2 is really nice scoreline. We're kind of ahead of the curve in terms of gold as well. 1k gold above most other people. Basically everyone on the enemy team. Ahri is similar gold to me, but she's on my team, which is of course great. Yeah, so in games where you can get a hit as Misfortune, you can end up doing a lot of damage in the mid and late game because you're ahead of the curve. But here once again, we're stuck clearing minions, and we're just going to blast down these minions Amumu is busy helping out the team in like the Herald fight, which we do manage to secure and plop it down onto the bottom lane. And in the meantime, I'm alone in the lane, so I'm not quite sure where Lucian and Janna are. I know Janna's right here. Lucian is missing. Don't know if he backed or if he went elsewhere, so I'm going to play a little bit cautiously. Lucian is back here with his Essence Reaver. Tries to dash onto me with the ulti. I exhaust him. He also exhausts me. I'm going to just pick up the fruit and I'm fine. Not too big of an issue here. Again, I'm just playing safe. If really need be, one of the ways you can survive as MF alone is to ult the wave. So there's three main ways you can use MF ult. The first way is of course the traditional way, which is to follow up and to just kill people with the obvious way. Second way is to wave clear, either in places where you can get dived, so you need to wave clear quickly, or in certain instances where the enemy team is using the minions to end the game or like get an inhibitor and you need to clear the minions quickly so they can do that. Once again, that's where your ulti comes in. And finally, this is the weird one. This is like a meme one, but the zoning ulti. Sometimes you try to hit ulti, but you know, they end up not getting hit and you end up just zoning them away. It also works because it really prevents them from walking toward that area and your teammates can finish them off. So here, once again, we're trying to catch up with Amumu and see if we can help him out and perform the combo. Here Amumu goes in with the combo, and here I'm able to actually finish off the Janna, flashing over to get the auto onto the Lucian to pick up the double kill. Beautiful combo execution by me and Amumu in solo queue. I love to see it when combos work out, with randoms. And me and Amumu are executing the combo beautifully, getting really fed, 5-1 and 2 now. Once again, auto-attacking the minions in between to proc my passive. Misfortune clears the minions really quickly because of her passive. And now I'm going to back and see if I can pick up some items. Of course, we already got the collector completed, so we were able to proc the collector onto the Janna there with the last ultimate. And of course, now we're going to build towards our Sorola's Grudge. And once again, on MF, I think getting your first 3 items is a lot more important than getting boots, so I'm gonna prioritize getting my actual main core items before I complete my boot enchant. On the way back to lane, just clearing out the wolves, and my tower is pretty low, pretty easy to take down. But of course here I'm gonna bounce onto the Janna, scare her away, and I am able to of course clear out the minions. We can see Lee Sin somewhere around the area. There he is. Gets charmed by the Ahri. Here I get ulted by the Zed, but here I managed to actually finish off the Lee Sin. I managed to actually basically just walk out of the situation. Here I try to ulti. I managed to ulti, clip the Janna at the very right edge and able to use the collector to finish off the kill. And overall, we basically end up getting an ace across the board and right before dragon spawns as well, which basically gives us a free dragon. So the game is definitely turning into our favor here. And me, Ahri, and Diana are going to be able to just secure this dragon for free. And we can, of course, then once again back and, of course, go pick up more items. So I got the Sorola's Grudge completed, so after that I can start going towards my boots. Can see that the Diana and the Ahri are really fed as well. Diana actually has more gold than me, and Ahri is very close behind. Whereas on the enemy team, only the Lee Sin is really doing kind of well, but Lee Sin falls off pretty hard when we get to mid and late game, so it's not too big of an issue, at least for now. Of course, he can kick someone into me to disrupt my ulti, but it hasn't happened yet. And here you can see one Q with, just destroys him, and you can see another Q nearly destroys him. If he had any less mobility and he wasn't Zed, he would have just died there to my ulti. But here, fight kind of ends up breaking out here. I'm just blasting whoever I can. Of course, I don't want to get blasted by the culling, so I'm going to back off a little bit. And yeah, just look at how much damage I did to that Zed. Like 2 Qs and like 1 more auto or anything really, he would have just died to the collector right there. So insane damage coming out of MF. Here we're like kind of having some shenanigans in the enemy jungle. I'm walking all the way around the safe way. Zed is obviously following me, so I don't want to get ulted by him. I'm just going to walk all the way around. And here is like really weird because basically what ends up happening here is pretty much nothing. Here we managed to push in the bot lane, and here the whole enemy team is trying to enter their jungle, and we're trying to actually catch them, but they're not stupid enough to just walk straight in for us to catch them. But at the same time, they're kind of keeping us interested, and we're kind of stuck in their jungle, like doing really nothing. So it's kind of a huge, colossal waste of time. I do take the Gromp on the way out to just deny a little bit of jungle farm, but it turns out that honestly nothing much really happened here. Now Baron has actually spawned, and honestly I feel that we could have actually just straight up just went for Baron on spawn because of how strong our team was, but either way I'm just going to pick up the red buff share, I'm going to pick up the Krugs, and I'm going to back. Of course we kind of need a stasis this match for a flanking Lee Sin, Z ult or something like that. So pick up the stasis and we're gonna hit back out. Currently still have the most gold in the game and we're looking for a fight here. Of course, whenever you're ahead of the curve, especially on Misfortune because she does fall off late game, you want to be looking for a fight and you want to be looking for an opportunity to use your ulti. Of course, preferably when there's objectives up. Here Amumu actually goes in with the combo, but the wind wall is up, so I can't actually ulti here. You can see I don't ulti here because I'm going to waste it into the wind wall. Finally, the wind wall is down. I'm going to hit the ulti. I can see Lee Sin behind, so I cancel so I can actually walk away. Here I'm able to actually blast down the Lee Sin, flash forward for the final auto to finish him off. And here, actually I think this actually could have been a pentakill, but I pick up a triple and my Dyna picks up a double. Not too big of a deal. And here we got the kill on all of them. We're going to be able to easily just push down the mid lane, but they end up surrendering anyway, so we do pick up the victory. And I'm going to leave you guys with the stats as usual. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and goodbye.